Katherine Johnson was a woman who broke barriers. She was a woman who was unknown to the American population until Hidden Figures came out. She was a woman who was a secret inspiration to African American women everywhere. And she continues to be that same inspiration daily. On August 26, 1918, in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, a revolutionary was born. She completed the 8th grade by the age of 10, and this was during heavy segregation, so that was the final point of schooling for African Americans. Her parents didn't accept the limit given to her and drove her to West Virginia State College's high school, which was an HBCU 120 miles away from their home. She graduated summa cum laude at the age of 18 with a degree in math and French. After graduation, she took a teaching job at a black public school. West Virginia University was segregated until 1939, when the college's president decided that he wanted to desegregate the graduate schools. He chose 3 African American students, 2 of which were male, 1 was a female, Katherine Johnson. This was the first milestone in her life. She broke the barrier and the stereotype of the fact that black women couldn't do anything more than be maids or take care of other people's children. She furthered her education for a year until she decided that she wanted to have a family, and she dropped out. It's the year 1952, and the NACA is looking for African American women who can compute and do math numbers fast, quick, and in a hurry. A relative told Katherine that they were hiring mathematicians, and she was offered the job in 1953. The NACA isn't very known by now because it's considered NASA now. But this is a very important part of Katherine's life because this is the first time that you see her in that computing chair in the colored woman section with the calculator next to her going through numbers. It's the time where she got comfortable in who she was and the math that she knew, and that she was comfortable in how she could compute these numbers. It was a time where she was in a space that she felt that she could break barriers, she could move mountains. She was in a space where the numbers did not lie, where they were the only things that she could really and truly trust, because this was the time when her husband had died of cancer and nothing else mattered but her daughters and this math. This math helped her escape the reality that she had in her life. This math changed her whole entire world. It's the year 1957, which is the year Sputnik was launched by the Soviets. It was the year Katherine became more than a black woman in the colored section. In 1958, she was reassigned from the colored section to a section that was staffed by all white males. In May 1961, she did trajectory analysis for Alan Shepard's Mission Freedom 7, America's first human spaceflight. She put us in the race for space. In 1962, she calculated the path for the first man to orbit around the Earth, which happened to be John Glenn. And in 1969, she calculated the historic Apollo 11 trip to the moon. She broke the glass ceiling, she broke the barriers, she changed the world, and she put America in the race for space. And not many people will know about her, and not many people will shout her name from the rooftops, but I can tell you that this story is something that people need to know. This story is why they made the movie Hidden Figures, because there are people behind the scenes that nobody knows about that changed America as we know it.